one of the things I wanted to like start asking you about is you started off as like a valet and manager. What, in your opinion, helped you transition from that into wrestler?
So I think my trainer, which his name is Preacher. Most people know him as Finis James, but his name is Preacher. Most people know him like when he's training, his name is Preacher. Kind of always deemed us as wrestlers, no matter what. And he would tell like the fellow students there, which were mostly men, to train, like to teach us like as wrestlers and to treat us like one. So they never like treat us as anything else. So I kind of think that worked in my sense where it was just like I was always trained to be a wrestler rather than like just as a valet or a manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then like, is there something you picked up on as being like a manager that maybe you wouldn't have picked up on if you just started wrestling?
I think most people should start as managers because you find out your character faster and you find out how to interact with the crowd. Sometimes when you're a wrestler, you don't really get that experience. You do with the crowd, but you don't really know, like, you don't really have to focus too much on them because you're like, okay, I'm in the ring, so I don't really have to.
Yeah.
But as like a manager, that's kind of like your main goal is to either like be a baby face or be heel. And it's either to have the fans with you or fans against you. And I think when you're a wrestler, especially when you're new, it's harder to kind of build that those moments up because you're just so focused on actually like
Wrestling.
Yeah, rather than like making sure you're interacting with the crowd and stuff like that.
And how do you draw a balance in kind of being out there and putting some of the spotlight on yourself, but also not taking away from the match?
I think it's a happy medium. I think you kind of have to like realize that it's not all just kind of about you. But I do think that's what's helped as a manager. I think you kind of realize like you can only do so much as a manager, right? You have like either moments of like these are your moments and then these are moments for the person that you're managing. So you kind of get used to the idea of kind of having that partnership already. And I think that helps when you're a wrestler as well. Like then you realize how to read an audience. Unlike, you know, if you're just jumping in head first, then you kind of have to figure it out as you go.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. I never thought about it in that way.